What's good, everybody? This is Spiritual Law. I hope y'all straight. Y'all having a good day. So I decided to make this video because I want to talk about this because I wanted basically to make a video regarding the situation that is going on. But now it's been so much that is going on, so it's better that I'm start talking about it now and added up everything. So about this war, that is going on, Iran and Israel, and how the United States is actually participating, and demanding ceasefire, and they even attacked the three nuclear, bases of Iran and stuff like that. So this war that we already know, it was already, planned by, all these elites, it's already planned, they just playing they just playing their cards. They already planned this for, a lot of years, before. They just playing their cards, and is it the way how is this role, how they rolling, the war? It's crazy. It's crazy in a way because we saw in the beginning Israel committing genocide, killing a lot of innocent Palestinians, and trying to take over the land. It's not even their land, but they're trying to take it over the land. They demand, to erase all the Palestinians, all the Arabs. That's genocide, first thing first, It's crazy how a lot of countries, they cannot protest or go against Israel. I don't understand how a small piece of land have so much power, and influence in the entire world. Why do they fear so much the Jews? Why do they fear so much the Zionists? One thing is clear, we already know that who rule, this matrix is the Zionists, Any position, any top position, whatever, the company or whatever, they there. We already know. It's the Zionists. But why all the countries, they fear the Zionists so bad? Because maybe they control them, they have a part in their government as well. Because everything, Zionists, they are everywhere, Any government, there's a Zionist over there, Any country. United States, United Kingdom, any country, there's a Zionist entity in the government. But how is it possible a small country like this, a small land like this, like Israel, can do whatever the fuck they want to do? Because they committing genocide. Nobody says nothing, People protesting in the roads, in everywhere, But the countries, they don't say nothing. So why you allowing a genocide? If it was the opposite side, the opposite way, if it was, the Palestinians committing genocide and stuff like that, most definitely that all the countries would spoke about it and will deal with the situation straight away. But why they cannot do that with Israel? Now Israel is in war with Iran. Okay, Iran said a lot to Israel to stop, committing genocide, and they will defend their brothers, Palestinians. That's how the war started, Israel, they started being cheeky, and they attacked, and they attacked Iran. And from now on, it's just going back and forth, Iran and Israel. United States, I don't know the fuck why United States intervened in that war, you know. I don't know why they fucking intervene. I'm saying on a matrix perspective way, because in a spiritual way, we know, you know, it's script, you know. United States had to get involved. It's script, you know. Like more countries gonna get involved. United Kingdom gonna get involved for sure. It's script, you know. Maybe we're gonna see France in the future. You don't know. It's script. North Korea, China. This is all script. This is part of the agenda, you know. They just playing their roles. And Donald Trump acting like, you know, he's the shit, you know. Man, y'all hear how he's talking, you know. He's talking crazy. He's talking like he owns the world. Like, first thing first, you know, you should just worry about United States, my guy, you know. It wasn't you that you made a campaign before becoming president that you're not going to be involved in no wars, and you're just going to prioritize Americans and United States first, and you don't care about the rest of the world. You're going to shut down America, just, you know, just you guys can be isolated. You only prioritize America. So why is you putting your ass now on somebody's war? You know what I mean? A person that he promised their people, his people, the United States, the American citizens, that he will not do this, will not do that, you know. So y'all voting me, I'll be the president. They trusted you, and now you're just doing the opposite, my guy. So what are your true plans? If you got involved on this one, it means you're gonna get involved in more and more and more in the future, you know. So is the people should really trust you? Was it really worth it to give you the power? Because y'all need to understand, Joe Biden is a bot, you know, he's a puppet. But Donald Trump, he's a puppet too. They all following orders about the elite, the entities, the Zionists. The Zionists controls them. And it's crazy how the president of Israel is demanding to the United States to give them weapons, them bombs that they can basically destroy the nuclear bases from Iran. And he's putting pressure on Trump. And y'all know how is Trump's character, personality, you know. How a guy with that kind of personality, he's acting soft with the president with Israel. The president of Israel was demanding to him to give him the bombs. And he said, I'm gonna think about I'm gonna think in 2 weeks if we should decide to attack or not. What the hell? It wasn't you that was saying that I'm just gonna prioritize America. I'm just gonna focus in my citizens in the United States. How is the Israel president demanding you to give him suppliers, bombs, and from the sudden you come to the news saying that you have 2 weeks to think about if you attack Iran or not, and on the next day and night you attacking straight away. He's a puppet. He's a puppet. Everybody is manipulated by the Zionists. They fear the Zionists. The Zionists controls all these bots. Because how is I'm gonna say again, a small land like this called Israel dominates the world, you know, the matrix. How they scared of him, of them? How? If I was the US, if I was the United States president, as soon as, you know, that motherfucker is telling me what to do, I'll shut his mouth first thing first, and later on, if he trying to act tough, I'm gonna let him know, you know what? You're disrespecting me, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bomb your land. Say goodbye. You don't fuck around with me. You know who you think you is to demanding me to give me my own bombs to you, help you on your war. A small country like you, what? You know, say goodbye. That's how I would be if I was the president, of the US, But it was the opposite way. So he demanded to Trump to give him the bombs and stuff like that. Trump decided to attack, to participate as well. And Iran, they decided to retaliate. And Trump didn't like it. Or if you guys retaliate, it's gonna be big consequences. Listen, they obviously gonna retaliate. You wasn't called for this war. You shouldn't even put your nose in this war. Who the fuck think you is to decide the peace and the wars in the world? You're not the president of the world, my guy. You're just the president of the United States. And how all these goofies as well, they allowing you to do whatever you want to do. Because if you want to move or, interact on a Middle East soil, who is in charge of the Middle East? I don't know the country. But if there's a country is in charge of the Middle East, I'll step and I'll be like, you cannot act under my soil. You're the president of the United States. What about United States? This is Middle East. This is not your territory. Your voice, it doesn't count. Simple. But he can do whatever he want to do. So he have control in the Middle East. He have control in Europe. This is crazy. That's crazy. Now you see the president of France, going back and forth with Trump because I think they in some arguments, I don't know. If the president of France is the only one to intervene from Europe's side to say that Trump cannot do whatever he want to do, man, at least he's the only one, because the rest they're just sheeps. They all bots. They all controlled, manipulated. They all, this is stage. It's stripped. It's stage. So I saw the news. Y'all should not believe in the news. Y'all not even should watch the news because we already know it's brain control. Everything that they put on the news is fake, just to manipulate us and to making us be confused. But since we know what's going on, since we know the truth, let's just see what more lies they're gonna put on the TV. So apparently this folk came again on the TV, Donald Trump, saying that he made the ceasefire deal and he's proud and he's happy. He was going crazy. Talking a lot, he was going crazy that he made the ceasefire. What happened? It doesn't last even one day. Apparently Israel attacked Iran again, but there's stories as well saying that it was Iran that attacked Israel. So it's like nobody knows who broke the ceasefire first. And all of this because the excuse, this is the excuse that they bringing to us. Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Now I have a question. Why Iran cannot have nuclear weapons? What's the problem? They never attack nobody. Why they cannot have nuclear weapons, but you can have nuclear weapons? Does this make sense? Who is you to decide that they should not have nuclear weapons? Who is you? If they cannot have nuclear weapons, you should not have as well, to be fair. Because y'all need to think about this. This is not about differences of ethnicities or races or whatever, because we on the matrix, you know. So if you think about it, why only countries where the white supremacy, they are the ones, they only have nuclear weapons, and other countries like South America or Africa's or Middle East, they do not have nuclear weapons? Why? Why? Why y'all can have it and these countries cannot? What's this? What's the excuse? Don't bring the terrorists and whatever you want to say. We know the terrorists is the Zionists. The terrorists is the government of the United States and the United Kingdom and Israel. We know who created Al Qaeda and all that bullshit, ISIS, all that bullshit. Was you guys. Was you guys. They're not even Arabs. They fucking Jews. Pretending that they from those lands in Middle East. We know who created who. So stop, stop with the bullshit. Cut the bullshit. You might fool people still, because these people, they dumb, they bots, they stuck in the matrix. They cannot think by themselves. They whatever else, whatever these entities, these elite say to them, they follow, they believe. So y'all can fool these people, but the chosen ones and the the awakening people, y'all not gonna fool us. We know what's popping, we know what's going on. It's just, for me, it's just a show. I'm just seeing the show. I'm just saying who's gonna do what now. It's just a show. And they bring in all these excuses about the nuclear weapons. But why countries of the white supremacy have all nuclear weapons, and other countries with different tone skin color, they cannot have nuclear weapons? Why? What's the reason? Why? They're not gonna use it. Like you're not gonna use it. But why they cannot have it? Because you want to manipulate and control them, no? You want to have power over them, no? But one thing is why? So why y'all do not destroy y'all own nuclear weapons? Because y'all, man, a nuclear weapon is just a weapon to threat. They're not gonna use that shit. It's just a threat. Even if they use it, they might use it for the first time. We might gonna see something. In these years, we might gonna see something. It's going towards that way. But if they did not have a nuclear weapon, they wouldn't have power at all. Now imagine if Iran had nuclear weapon, and you have Israel attacking crazy, and later on United States. Do you think Iran would use the nuclear weapon? Probably, because y'all the enemies, and the way how you sneak to attack Iran. There's a lot to say. All these wars that the United States always get involved or made these wars is always bullshit. We saw the Iraq war, all them wars, Afghanistan, is all bullshit. Just killing the innocence of people. They committed a lot of genocide. They went against the laws as well. They attacked without permission and stuff like that. Nothing happened to them. But if it's somebody, let's say Iran in this case, decided to protect the Palestinians, and now they're going back and forth with Israel, they're the bad guys. Why you did not use all their power to control and to stop Israel of doing what they was doing, the genocide? they put Israel. How do you put Israel in court and you activate international law, and by the law, if somebody is committing genocide, it needs to be punished and nothing happens? How does it possible? Only 16 countries they didn't agreed with that, and 140 something countries they agreed, and they wanted to Israel be punished on their international law, and on the end of the court nothing happened. How is this possible? How does this make sense? If it was the opposite, Iran will be punished straight away. When Russia started war with Ukraine, they got punished straight away with the sanctions and taxes and all of that. So why with Israel no, but they don't do nothing? Why? It's crazy how people back Israel. But you need to be smart and think. Why Hitler wanted to only erase this race? Why? Why Hitler only wanted to erase this fucking race of Earth? Why? Because they bad. Hitler knew. Hitler saw the true colors, saw how they are. You see all the scriptures, even for the people that is religious or whatever. Y'all go read y'all scriptures. It doesn't matter what religion you is. Israel is in all the scriptures is saying that Israel is the bad. So why y'all backing up these guys? Y'all cannot see. They the evil. They the evil in this matrix. They the one who run this matrix. The Zionists. So what should I say more regarding this war? I think some allies, they're gonna start, join the war. They said that some minister from Iran went to Moscow to speak with Putin. I believe Putin might join, but even if he might join, but he gonna pretend that he's not joining, because y'all need to understand. This is my point of view. This is my point of view as a leader. If you are a leader, you know what I'm saying. This is all strategic. You're going to pretend that you're not going to join when you see that, opportunity. You're going to strike. That's how it is, You're playing your card, That's what they do. That's what Putin does. We know Putin's going to strike Europe. We know Putin's going to strike the UK. He already letting us know. He already said, UK is my priority. I'm going to blow this shit down. It's my priority. But why didn't happen? Nothing didn't happen yet. Because he's playing cool. This is all about strategics, You see how this war is going. If this war now escalates because they broke the ceasefire, if it escalates, they're going to start, fighting again, throwing missiles to each other. If some of other countries intervene to this war, I guarantee y'all Putin is going to nuke Ukraine straight away. He's going to take advantage of that situation. He's going to nuke Ukraine. He's going to take control of Ukraine. Everybody's going to be shocked, and he's going to be ready to go to whoever wants to go against him. And when that time comes, you're going to see the other allies, such like North Korea and China, stepping up, and they're going to step up with big weapons, and we already know, what's going to happen. I see the news in the UK, they put in today that they're trying to do, they're trying to basically do drills, the soldiers do drills, and ASAP, they're trying to see bunkers and, ways to protect the citizens. So what's going to happen? What's the what's the hidden message of this? So y'all expecting something to get down in the UK, basically. That's what it means, that's what it looks like. If y'all see, the news, there's a hidden message there. Because what's the point of you saying that you want all the soldiers to start doing drills at any, and finding ways to protect the citizens and stuff like that, and you advising the citizens to expect inside war? So what do you mean with this? What's going to happen? They're preparing for something, the government from the UK. They're preparing for something. So it means something is going to get down. It's going to reach this land already. And today they said that they saw the Russian warship next to them, you know, here to the UK waters type shit, you know. So something is going to get down though, you know. And this war is going to be impossible to cease fire or whatever, because this is script. It's meant to happen. They decided this 70 years ago, whatever, you know. They're just following the script. But it's gonna be like to fool us. They're just gonna, you know, pretend that they're gonna stop, pretend that they're gonna attack, they're gonna step back, they're gonna step forward type shit. The other one is gonna be quiet, the other one is gonna be, you know, on the side watching, see what's going on. Later on, the other guy is going to step, the other country is going to step, the other country is going to step. When you realize you have more than 10 countries involved, and it's free for all, you know, that's how it's going to be. And man, people falling for it, you know, people falling for it, you know. And man, is what it is. I think this is going to escalate more, you know. And I believe even maybe Russia is going to give nuclear weapons to Iran, and Iran is going to strike Israel and the US and probably the UK with nuclear weapons, you know. And as soon as one country strike these countries, you're going to see the allies. You're going to see, boom, Russia is going to pop up. Boom, China is going to pop up. Boom, North Korea is going to pop up. Because all these countries, they have beef with these countries. With the US, with the UK, with Israel, all these countries, you know, China. China wants to control the world. They already said it in public. They said it's time for the US step down and China to take control of the world. We had enough. They already said it. And they don't like the US, you know, and the UK, you know. So as soon as one, you know, strikes, the other ones will pop up from nowhere. And that's how it's going to be. And the small countries, you know, that they don't want to get involved, they're going to have to be involved, because these big motherfuckers, you know, these countries like the US or the UK, they're going to activate a goofy law saying that if an ally is attacked by the law, whatever, in the United Nations, all the NATO alliance needs to participate to defend the allies type shit. And you're going to see the small countries again dragged to this war, and they don't even know, and that shit is gonna escalate worldwide, and it is what it is, you know. That's how it's gonna be, this picture, you know. Well, I just, you know, want to share this with y'all, you know, bring my point of view, and you know how the plan is going on and what is going to happen, you know, because we're on the matrix, you know. So man, if you know, you know. If you don't know, man, you need to, you know, you need to open your eyes and lock yourself from this matrix. So it's gonna be too late for you, man. You know, you might get caught with the heat, you know, from this, you know, these puppets, you know, from this elite, man, you know, from these evil entities. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is Spiritual Law. Peace for y'all. We out.